And we are on air.
Hi guys, my name is Brianna, and today we're in my kitchen because I'm going to be cooking dinner tonight. So I thought I'd take you guys with me. So let's get cooking. So today I'm going to be making two different recipes. They don't really go together, but I like both of them and wanted to have them. And since I'm cooking, I get to pick for tonight. My parents aren't home, so it's me cooking for my brothers and myself. So let's get into it. Today I'm going to be making crescent burgers and spinach quiche. So the quiche takes longer, so I'm going to do that first, and then while the quiche is cooking, I will make the crescent burgers. So let's get started. Okay, for the spinach quiche recipe, you will need 2 tablespoons of butter, which is a quarter of this stick. 2 tablespoons of an onion, which we'll measure out later, 2 packages of spinach, half a teaspoon of salt, a quarter of a teaspoon of pepper, quarter of a teaspoon of nutmeg, 3/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, 1 1/4 cup of heavy cream, 4 eggs, and a pie crust. So let's get cooking. Okay, so the camera's been moved because the first step is to take these spinaches out of the package, toss in some hot water to thaw them out, and then squeeze out all the excess water. So let's get into it. Okay, so here's our first package of spinach. So we're gonna turn this water up all the way to hot. And we're gonna start putting the water on our spinach. The water's getting warmer, so it should start to do something. You could feel the spinach start to thaw up a little bit. Okay, so our spinach is finally starting to break up into pieces, so we're getting somewhere. I'm just breaking this up a little bit to try and give it some more surface area for the water to hit and to defrost it. As you can see, we're really getting a lot of this spinach now, and it's really starting to defrost. So now you guys can see that our spinach is defrosted. So the goal now is to squeeze all of the water out of the spinach. But before that, I'm just going to grab our second package of spinach and defrost it as well, so we can just squeeze out all the water of both of them together at the same time. So now we have both packages of our spinach all thawed up. Now the goal is to squeeze all the water out of them. So I'm going to start just by squishing it down so some of the water seeps through this and moving it around, mixing it, squeezing it with my hands, just trying my best to get all the water out of it. Now we have our spinach, for the most part, dried out in a bowl, but we're going to go back to it later, and we're going to head over to the stove. Okay, so over here we have 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of onions. We're just going to melt the butter and then saute the onions. So while our butter is finally melted and it's starting to bubble a little bit, and we're just going to cook our onions until they're not brown but just tender. They just need a little bit longer. Alright, and I'd say these are good. So now we're going to head over to our bowl and start putting things together. Okay, so in this bowl is our spinach and our onions right now, but we're going to add some more stuff in a second. So here is our half a teaspoon of salt. Here's our quarter of a teaspoon of pepper. Here's our quarter of a teaspoon of nutmeg. And here's our 3/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese. Now we're going to mix it all together. So I'd say this is decently mixed together. So now we're going to go in a different bowl and mix some different ingredients together. Okay, so now we have our smaller bowl. We're going to put in our 1 1/4 cup of heavy cream. And we're also going to beat in our 4 eggs. So there's 1 egg. And there's 2 eggs. And there's our third. And our fourth. So now we just have to beat it all together. Okay, so this is pretty much all mixed together. There's no more yolks and it's all mixed up. So now we're going to combine this with our spinach mixture. So here we have our big bowl. Now I'm just going to pour in our liquid mixture. Get it all in there. And now I'm going to start to just mix this together. And that's it. Now it's time to put this in our pie crust. Okay, so now we have our pie crust and we're just going to put our mixture in it. Okay, I'm just going to try and spread this out a little bit more evenly. And I'm just going to pop some extra cheese on the top. And then we're going to throw it in the oven. Okay, so now it's in the oven. And it's going to stay there for about 40 minutes. But basically you just want to be able to put a toothpick or a fork in it and have it come out clean. So that's what we're waiting for. In the meantime, I'm going to give it a little while because this one does take a decent amount more time than the other. And in about 15 minutes, I'm going to start to make the other dish. And you guys can see that now. So now we are making crescent burgers. For this, you will need half a pound of ground beef. This is approximately 1 pound, so I'm just going to have to chop it in half. Worcestershire sauce, 1 egg, 1/3 of a packet of onion dip mix, half a teaspoon of black pepper, 2/3 a cup of cheddar cheese, and crescents. So apparently I also need oil, but it wasn't on the ingredients list, so... Okay, so right now we are just going to brown our meat with a little bit of oil. So right now I'm just chopping up the meat so that all parts of it can get cooked. So our oil is really starting to boil, and we're just cooking our meat in that oil, trying to make sure every part of it is brown. We don't want to see any pink meat left after we are done. So we are almost done, just need a few more minutes, see a little bit more pink, but it's definitely getting there, mostly brown on our meat right now. Okay, so our meat looks done to me, so we're just gonna pop it over into a strainer and then put it in a bowl to mix with the rest of our ingredients. Okay, so now we have our meat in our bowl and we're gonna add half a cup of cheese and mix it around. Now we're gonna mix in our soup powder, but it has to just be 1/3 of it, so we're just gonna give this a rough estimate. I'm gonna say that's about 1/3 of it, so we're gonna mix that all together. Now we're gonna add just 2 or 3 drops of Worcestershire sauce. We really want to make sure that gets mixed around because there's not a lot of it and it's very potent. Now we're going to add our half a teaspoon of salt. Once again, there's not a lot of that, so we really want to make sure we get it all mixed around, get it all nice and even in our mixture. Now our insides are done, so we want to get a sheet out for our crescents. Okay, so now we're over here. We got some parchment paper down on our cookie sheet, And we got our crescents, which we're gonna pop open and put them down on here. Alright, so I just popped it open, so we're just gonna take these out and get our crescents here. Okay, so we have 8 crescents, and we just wanna separate them a little bit, try to unroll them as best we can, and then peel them apart. Okay, so we have our crescents ready, so now we're going to put about a tablespoon of meat in each one. Okay, we have our meat, so I'm just going to be approximating in each one of these. A little bit of meat in each one. Okay, so I feel like I put a lot of meat on each one, tried to stuff them to the brim, and I still have a little bit of meat left over, which I'm not sure what I'm going to do with yet, but we'll see, because now it's time for me to roll these up. So hopefully the meat stays in them and they don't overflow. These aren't looking the best, but I'm trying. I feel like the taste is more important than how it looks though. So I just finished rolling these. There's a few more things I have to do before I put them in the oven, but it's time to check on our quiche, so we'll get back to it. Okay, so I'm just gonna take out our quiche and we're just gonna see how it is. Okay, to me it looks a little fluffy, but I'll show you guys. I think maybe it's gonna be a little squishy on the inside still. But we're gonna grab a fork and check it out. Alright, it's moment of truth. Oh, it came out clean. Let's try it in a couple different spots. Alright, so I think our quiche is done, so we'll leave that there to cool off and we'll go back to working on our crescent burgers. Okay, so for our crescent rolls, we now got a little bit of egg. It's 1 egg and 1 tablespoon of water and a little brush so we can get some moisture on the top of these guys. Just brush some egg on each of them. Okay, so our crescent burgers are now decently coated with eggs, so the last step is to sprinkle some cheese over them. So now these are going to go in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm just going to pop these in, and then we wait. Yay! Okay, it's time to check on our crescent burgers. So they look a little poofy to me, so I'm gonna say I'm gonna give them another 5 minutes. It said 10 to 15 and I only put them in for 10. So I guess we'll be right back. Okay, it's time to check them again. Hopefully they're done this time. Oh yeah, these look really good. You can see that. Oh, they look yummy. Okay, now all our food is done, so it's time to plate it. Let's go. First, I'm gonna grab these plates and get some crescent burgers on them. There's the first one. There's the second one. And here's mine. So now let's get the spinach quiche. Okay, we got our first slice. Got our second slice. And our last slice. So this is the food. So I'm really excited to try it, but I think I'm gonna get my brothers in here first, sit them down, have them try it and see what they think, and then we'll see what I think. Alright boys, go ahead, try it. Let's see what you think.
First I'm gonna try. Didn't have it before, so I like it.
Yeah, but you don't know about me making it.
I ate too much. But it's good, it's good.
What do you think, Wyatt?
Now for this. This is good.
Try the other one, Wyatt.
What I'm eating. There's for this.
What do you think, Aiden?
I haven't got.
Good, Wyatt? Is it hot? Tastes good though? That tastes good?
Yeah.
Alright, my turn to try it. Okay, so now I'm gonna try it. So let's get a bite of the quiche. It's good. It's a little bit creamy. I don't know why, but it's good. Alright, let's try our crescent burger. That's good. Really good. So that was me cooking for you guys. I just want to say that I am not a cook, I'm not a chef, not a professional. So if I did anything wrong, I'm sorry, but I tried my best and it came out pretty good, so I'm happy with it. But alright guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Happy VEDID, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Mwah!